Today we're going to be doing a video on daddy issues. What are they? Where do they come from? What do they look like? Well, daddy issues manifest in control issues. That is where they look like. That is where they come from. Okay. When somebody has control issues, they felt insecure or scared as a kid. That is where that comes from. That is a failure of the parents, by the way. Specifically the father, because your parents represent your security. And when you meet an insecure person, that is because they had insecure parenting styles. Now, in this church, making your kid insecure is amazing, because they believe having control issues is the best in the world. Let's say your parent does something stupid, like, I don't know, take you to a religious cult to get anally raped. You're not going to feel very secure. As a person, so you're going to have control issues. If you're part of my page and you've watched every video from the beginning all the way to now, you'll know this church I'm talking about. And when I contacted the FBI and I was like, I just assumed you guys were a bunch of insecure boys with daddy issues, and the FBI guy replied that could literally be like the motto of the FBI. That's because he knows psychology and he knows I'm right. Now, Carl Jung talks about you should never diagnose somebody or just tell them, hey, you have control issues because you had an insecure childhood. Because one, repress, deny, they're not going to let you be right. So don't ever waste your time going, that guy has daddy issues or they have daddy issues. And the fact about life is everybody has mommy and daddy issues, just some way more than others. And we're about to get into the way more than others. One of these idiots, I'm going to talk about my personal pet peeve about rigging things. I do not like it when things are rigged for me. I do not like it when they are rigged against me. Because it takes out the legitimacy of competition. Okay. Who's the best? Who's going to win? What are the factors in that? Okay. When you go keep them fighting one arm behind their back and cheat at everything, which is what that translates to, you are a loser. That can't accept that they're a fucking loser. That is what that means. Yes. So anyways, my cuddle buddy had a boyfriend, and he was a member of this church, spoilers, and he had daddy issues. And I remember him, whenever I accused him of having daddy issues, he accused me of having daddy issues. But, if you know any of the women or any of my friends, they'll tell you I'm probably the most secure person on the planet. Because I simply do not care. That is my skill. So, you might go, Bobby, how do you know this guy had control issues? One, he ruined Halloween because he didn't want to go trick-or-treating. Two, he would interfere in shit and then ruin it because that's what a controlling person does. Three, we were playing Halo. Specifically the Juggernaut, and this kid had a thing, he set up the Juggernaut game, to play Halo, and he had, like, he had invincibility, he had 300% speed in the hammer, and was like, random chance, I'm the Juggernaut. It wasn't random chance, you can set the spawn in, and he set it up so he spawned in. So he ran across the map, we were dumping on him, shooting him, and I thought this was a normal Juggernaut thing before I realized you could not put him down. But I'm a genius. Yes, sir. So he rushed me, and I sidestepped him at the last minute because he had the hammer. When he's the Juggernaut, he set it up so he had the hammer. So he tried to hit me with the gravity hammer. I sidestepped him at the last second and assassinated him and became the Juggernaut. Well, he didn't like that. Not one bit. So he paused the game, reset the entire thing, went into the options, and then turned it off that you could not assassinate the Juggernaut. Oh, in any other world, that's called rigging, by the way. But, in his world, he's a winner, because he cheated to win. Famously, when talking to probably almost every member of this church that are edgelords, and they are edgelords, they all will go rig the game, cheat to win, and, That's how that is. I don't care. I don't care. And famously, my favorite response to every one of these guys that had the balls to say that, I was like, I challenge you to a race, I pull a gun out and shoot you in the head. You're okay with that? And then they went, no! And I was, why? They don't have answers, because this is what happens, and they're funny as shit, because in this church it's all about following their rules, but their rules are arbitrary and make no sense. And if it's all about cheating to win, wouldn't you just ignore the rules? Because you guys ignore the rules and everything else. You're not following your own rules. You're not following your own rules. And if somebody was stupid enough to go, these are our rules, and also this one, keep them fighting one hand behind their back, which means cheat at everything, why would you have that as a rule? Because that would just imply you can ignore all the rules, and there should be no consequences. And yet there are consequences. So what exactly are you trying to say, or what are you trying to do? Well, here's what they're trying to do. Insecurity. And control issues are a sign of an insecure person. The interpersonal aspects of rigging everything makes other people just give up. You're not better than them. They surrendered because they know you're going to cheat. Imagine you're playing a video game where no matter what you do, the other guy is going to win. Because they rigged it that way. Not because they're better, not because they're better skilled or any of the other things, it's because they cheat. And this shit came up with blonde-haired, blue-eyed loser man Blondie, who is probably the greatest loser on the planet. Because he was explaining that he basically cheats at everything, and that's how he's superior, because nobody knows when to throw out the rules, but he will not throw out the rules of his own religion. Sounds like a double standard to me. If it was me, I wouldn't ever introduce such stupidity to the table. Ever. Because it creates a baboon psychology, and it turns into you cheating at everything. I'll give you some more examples of this, specifically Halo, because Halo was very popular growing up. There was this other kid when I was in high school that everybody was like, he's really good at Halo, but he was just really good with the battle rifle. That was his only skill. And we quickly learned that when we played a game with him, when I played a game with him, and I ended up beating him. So he did the logical thing, and he turned off grenades and all the other weapons, and then made sure everybody had battle rifles. Why? Because he has control issues, because Daddy didn't love him. Okay. And then, after he did that, he was like, okay, now everybody has battle rifles, the one thing I'm good with, and there are no other things people are good with on the map. I, myself, in Halo, had the weirdest skill, because I was stupidly good at the plasma grenade. I could almost stick a motherfucker from across the planet, or even behind me, for that matter. That's how good I was with plasma grenades. And then he took that away, and then he was like, I'm better than Bobby. Well, that's not the entire game isn't battle rifles. Now, sometimes in Halo, it did feel like the entire game was battle rifles, because they literally would have, like, game systems that were set up that way. Those are the rules of those things. And I'm not saying that's a bad thing, but that doesn't mean you're actually good at Halo. That just means you're good with the one weapon. I was also stupidly good with no-scoping with the sniper. Does that make me the greatest Halo player of all time? No, because I'm good with the sniper. Okay. But this is what ego beating looks like. Because the ego needs to feel safe and in control. And when it's not, the urge to rig the game so it can get that need to feel safety, and the safety was removed by the parents when they took these assholes to get raped by the church. This is why church people are so fucking weird, by the way. And they need somebody to be in control because they're insecure. That is part of the reason why religion exists, is people feel insecure, and then they go, this religion will make me feel secure, when actuality, it's the thing that makes them insecure, so they need the religion. It's facetious. Yeah. Another thing of this was my idiot friend Taco, who couldn't beat me, and he decided that he created some crazy, stupid game type that was just completely arbitrary, and I still beat him. Even with him rigging it, yeah, I beat him. That's gotta, trust me, If you try to cheat to win and you lose, that person is always the really weird psychotic guy that's like, because not only did they not have any values to begin with, you beat them even though they cheated, which tells them how much of a loser they are. They're not just a loser, they're a mega loser. Yeah. I do not like it when things are rigged for me, for that matter. I remember when I was at Papa John's and Blondie was like, self-righteous, and just, dude, these people, goodness is a virtue signal, okay? They do all the wrong things, and goodness is a virtue signal, okay? That is all. They cannot be good people. They do not care for actually helping anybody. And I was like, whatever, dude. And then he was like, well, if we rigged it in your favor, I was like, I wouldn't even try. I would just go, I'm going to win, right? And then I remembered this look of horror. Well, you have to try. You can't just, I'm going to win, right? And I just remembered this fucking, you're not going to win. Oh, what? You have to do something. No, I don't. It's rigged. And I started laughing, and I remember like, the stupidity with these people is about how they follow the rules of their own stupid religion and their own stupid church, but they're not going to follow the law. They're not going to follow any other rules. But then their own rules remove certain freedoms from them, that remove certain aspects of their lives that make them miserable. But they stay in that misery for the illusion of safety because they feel insecure from being raped when they were kids. It is a self-perpetuating snake that eats its own ass. Famously, when I was in high school, there was a lot of guys with really fragile egos, and the girls always go for those guys. I don't know what makes a woman thrilled about a guy that's clearly a wife beater, but whatever. But it was always after those guys had their way with them, after they knocked out the teeth of the women, brutalized them, and made them hideous, that those women would later be like, hey, you're one of the most secure guys I know. You want to date? No. Because you chose an idiot over me to begin with. And I remember this guy being like, that is so unfair, because they learned their lesson. Yeah, they didn't learn it quick enough, because to me this shit is common sense. Yeah. This is just one of the things. It is a pet peeve of mine, and once again, like, I think, once again, this is, if you don't watch my page, you're not going to know what I'm talking about. But if I am actually given another wish by the president, I think I'm just going to go, I'm going to wish to challenge Blondie to a game, and for the first time in his life, he's not allowed to cheat. But I am. And I'm going to cheat. And if I win, he has to return my glory. That means the church has to be destroyed. I have to be the one that did it, and he has to give me everything. And I'm going to cheat, so he's not going to win. I think that this would be a great lesson in why you should not keep them fighting one hand behind their back. Another example of something being rigged. I don't have a lawyer. And that's rigged. And that is another reason why I am defeatist, why I don't care to try, because this is rigged. This is what rigging it looks like. I still remember Blondie, it's not rigged! It's not! It's rigged.